And I'm so happy to have him here. That's a rendering he gave us.
Oh, it is a scary face. That would freak me out if I woke up to that at 2:30 on my whiteboard.
And then all of a sudden it just erased itself.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary stuff, Gabe.
I love that he's like into hauntings and likes to listen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got to start him early, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll throw that photo up on our social media so everyone can go see it, give it a like, and let Gabe know, because I emailed him back. I was like, maybe some of our listeners have seen something similar. I don't know. So you got to go and you got to give him some support and let him know what's good and like what's going on. So thanks, Gabe. Always a delight. And you know what that sound clip means? Time for another ghost story from Jen, from Maine, formerly from Massachusetts. So here we go.
Hi, my name is Jen, and this is my story of my haunted dorm room. I went to college at the University of Maine in Orono. This probably took place 1996, 1997, somewhere in there. I had my own dorm room. At first, I started noticing very subtle noises at night when I was laying in bed. My bed frame was this metal bed frame, and I would hear what sounded like something tapping on the metal, and it would move around the perimeter of the bed. It was just me there. And then sometimes I would hear what could only be described as the sound of if someone or something was stepping on top of the desk and the bureau, the sound of pressure on wood, like creaking, but only from the top of the surface of the bureau or desk, and it would move around the room in order, like it was as if something was walking on the furniture. And I had my best friend spend the night a couple of times, and they would hear it too. I would say, "Did you hear that?" And they'd say, "Yeah." And I'd say, "What did you hear?" And they'd describe it, and I'd be like, "Yeah, that's what I heard." More strange things started happening. Like one day, my boyfriend at the time and I were in the room, and we left to go do something. And I had these big blinds in the window, and they were always down. In fact, I didn't even know that they went up and down. I just knew that they opened. They were those Venetian kind of blinds, and I had only figured out at that point how to open the slats. We left, and the blinds were down and closed, as they almost always were. And we came back about an hour and a half later, and as I was walking up to the front of the building, the window to my room was on the front of the building. And I noticed that the blinds were up, and I thought, well, that's so strange. I didn't know they could do that. And I came into my room, and they were up, and I walked down to the RA, and I asked her, was anyone in my room while I was gone, because it was locked? And she said no. And in fact, if anyone needed to get in there, maintenance or anything like that, they would need to go to her to get a key to get in, I guess. And so she would have known if someone had been in there. And so I was totally freaked out by that. Strange things would go missing out of my room. Shampoo would just vanish. And I know that it could very well have been that I forgot it in the bathroom, but I didn't forget it. And I know I didn't. And it happened more than once. And so I'm not a forgetful person by nature. And I know that once it vanished one time, I was then, of course, making sure that I always had it in the shower caddy when I left the bathroom, because the other one had disappeared. So I was extra vigilant about it. And then it disappeared again from my room. And then one night, I was sitting on the edge of my bed. I was on the phone with my boyfriend at the time. So I was sitting with my feet dangling off the edge of the bed, like basically touching the floor. And I had this big, heavy down comforter with a duvet on it as my blanket. And it was And my bed was made, and the end of the blanket was hanging down over the foot of the bed where I was sitting. So it was almost touching the floor. I'm sitting there, and out of the corner of my eye, I see movement, and all the lights were on in my room. It was, bright. And I see movement, and I look over, and the corner of my blanket lifts up off of the floor and folds up over the top of the bed and then goes back down. Just calmly, slowly, steadily. I watched it go up, and then I watched it go back down. And I just was stunned. I couldn't believe what I had just seen. Yeah. And that's it. That's all that ever happened. Nothing ever happened after that. I lived in that room for another year and a half or 2 years. And I never had any other experiences like that. It was very strange. And I still don't understand really what happened. But that's my haunted dorm room story. So thanks for listening, and I hope you liked it.
Good story, Jen. I liked that one a lot. That was awesome.
Creepy.
Really creepy. Good haunted dorm.
I wonder if there's any urban legends or anything about the dorm. If there's any history there.
So I dated this guy for 5 years.
That's a long time.
He's the reason why I'm 30 and not married. Thank you so much. Well, that's not the point. The point is, he went he went to UMaine at Orono, and he had a haunted dorm.
Wow.
He had a haunted dorm there, and then him and a bunch of his friends moved into some ski house or something nearby. I don't know. I don't really know the details. I showed up 2 years after this, but he said that was haunted too.
Wow. Well, maybe it's him. When I was growing up, I just thought that everywhere that I lived was haunted. And it didn't occur to me until much later that it's because I could see and hear ghosts. Whenever I want to.
It could be part of that. Yeah. He was
so maybe he lived in multiple haunted houses.
That is very possible. He was kind of a spooky guy. He was really funny because he was a big tough guy. You know what I mean? Mr. Macho. But we'd always watch scary movies together because I'm a freak.
Yeah.
And he'd always get really freaked out because he'd always be you can't punch a ghost.
That's true.
That was his line. He'd always be well, you just, I don't know, you can't punch a ghost.
I guess it doesn't matter how big and tough you are when we're talking about non-corporeal beings, right?
Oh gosh.
And I feel every college or university or dorm has some kind of urban legend.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What was that one where if your roommate killed themselves, you got a free ride for the rest of the year? You got straight A's.
All colleges. Your roommate kills yourself, you don't have to pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if my college had any.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember. I'm sure.
Cool. I think that's it.
Awesome.
Nice. This was so great, Jamie. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You were a great co-host. This was great. I really hope you come back and do this again sometime.
Anytime.
This was fun.
And this makes me want to go to places and do readings on them and do investigations.
If you ever want to go together, hit me up.
Let's do it.
Always down.
You let me know.
Right.
I do in private home ones. If somebody wants to call me and say, hey, I think my house is haunted, or can you tell me about the spirits in my house? I do that. So I go and I get a reading on the person's energy and the energy of the house. And then I type up a whole list of the energy that I picked up, as well as recommendations on how to help you with it. But I've never done this place is haunted. Let's see what they're, you know what I mean? I haven't done, for fun, I guess I've looked into it, but I've never.
It's a lot of fun and we should do it.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. And if people want to get in contact with you to have you come to their private home, or to get a mediumship reading from you, how can they get in contact with you?
Thanks for asking. So my website is mediumjamieday.com, and I spell my name Jamie, and day is just the word day. That's also my Instagram and my Facebook, and those are really good ways to get in touch with me. mediumjamieday@gmail.com. And my phone number is on my website and stuff too, so you can check it out.
Sweet. And if you follow Ghost Hunting in New England social media, we always link over to Jamie so you can find her really, really easily.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And let me know if this is where you heard of me.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. Please do. And same for anyone who's ever on the show. Tell them you heard about them through this show. Because I know people who listen to the show who have contacted Abigail Dalton and did not tell her that this is, and I'm like, no, please, you have to tell people like this is where you heard
I've had a couple of people that have reached out to me and said that they heard of me on the podcast.
Good.
So.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Thank you again. Cool. This is great.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you to Aaron Schilb for doing our music at the beginning of the show. You can reach him on Instagram at @TheAaronSchilb. You can find me on Instagram at Ghost Hunting in New England, on Twitter, Ghost Hunting NE, Facebook.com/Ghost Hunting in New England. You can send a carrier pigeon to beautiful, sunny Somerville, Massachusetts, care of the Somerville Media Center. Or you can send an email to ghosthuntinginnew@gmail.com. I would like to apologize, kind of, sort of, to everyone because I know I've been saying for weeks I'm going to update the website. And I finally started updating the website, but I did not realize when I update the website, every time I post, it emails everyone on our list and then post to all the social media. So I've been trying to keep it to under 4 a day updates. But the next couple of days, because I'm like, your first episode with us was the last episode I put on the website.
Oh.
So we're like 16 episodes behind. So it's like every day I'm trying to like get a few out. But so just bear with me. Like, don't unfollow us on Facebook or Twitter. Like, just hang with it. It's going to be fine.
Click it and go through and listen.
Yeah,
it's
click it. You can read it. And
if there's one you've missed, it's a good chance to catch up.
Or maybe one you remember and you're like, oh, I loved that episode so much. I need to re-listen to it and send it to everyone I know.
Yeah, like mine.
Yeah. Like multiple from Jamie's. And also, so next week I have such a cool, oh my God, I'm so excited for this episode. I can't even start to describe how excited I am. The first author we've ever had is coming on the show. Yes. So David Rye, he's a oh gosh, I'm so bad at this. I believe it's called numismatics. I don't know. He studies
numismatist.
That sounds right. Ancient coins.
Yeah, numismatist.
You're way better than me. Yeah. He studies ancient coins and he wrote an entire book about relating these ancient coins he found and collected. He's a collector. He's a fascinating gentleman. So he has all these ancient coins and he collected them and he researched them and it like goes back to like uncode like secret locks of Christianity and how like
God.
It's fascinating. And like he's also like an astrologer and a palmist and he is pretty well off. So he's traveled around the world with all these other great historians and collectors and archaeologists and all this other stuff to go through, and they've actually pinpointed different like times in the Bible where it says where it says like the star was here and there, and they were able to look through it and they were actually able to pinpoint the exact year like Jesus would have been born based on what it said in these ancient texts they found from the Bible. And I think he's going to explain it on the show next week, but I think it's like 6 BC. So it's like 6 years before what they think. Right. That's crazy. And they don't really know. It's just a ballpark.
No.
But it's, and so he has Jesus' birth chart in the book.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
Like his natal chart? Like his holy, yes. I would love to see that.
And what's it called? I always get this word wrong. Like a solarium or a stellium? Stellium.
Yeah.
He has a stellium in Taurus.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is cool. And I saw it and I was like, he has a stellium in Taurus. That's wild. I wouldn't expect that from awesome. Christ. And I was like, I have a stellium in Leo. And he was like, good thing you have a podcast. And I was like, yes.
Can I put in a request for a question?
Yes.
I want to know, okay, so like psychic and medium inclined people, there's this thing called telemetry. I think that's it, telemetry. It's when you like touch an object and you can get kind of a reading off the object. Yeah. And metal is something that really carries a lot of energy. Yes. And so they say that especially when you're first starting out with that, metal is a really good conductor, like hold someone's keys or a metal object. Yeah. So ask him if he gets stuff when he holds the coins.
I'll ask him. You wanna hear something kind of related to that he has?
Yeah.
Sure, it's pretty cool. It's like the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Give it to me. I want to know.
He has a witch's ring from the 1st century AD.
What?
That has been professionally scanned and still contains